I love the 3DS. As I am typing the script for this video, the eShop for both the 3DS and the Wii U is about to close, so I'm trying to download as many games as I can before March 27th. I know some people watching this video past March 27th are like, the eShop for the 3DS and the Wii U is closed? No. But before we continue on with the video, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on awesome content. When the 3DS was announced, I wasn't really interested in it. I thought it was just a DS that could do 3D, but it was actually a brand new console. One day, while I was playing on my DSi, I noticed the L trigger wasn't working. Mom took me to GameStop to see if they could fix it. Unfortunately, they told us we would either have to send it to Nintendo to get it repaired, or we could trade it in for the 3DS. And guess what Mom did? She let me trade it in for the 3DS. Now, this was about 2 months before the 3DS launched, and the procedure was, Mom would put down some money for the 3DS, and on launch day, I would trade in my DSi to make up for the rest of it. Initially, I was reluctant since I would be parting ways with my DSi, but I realized it would be for the best. And it was. On launch day, I went to GameStop, traded in my DSi for the 3DS, and Dad was kind enough to buy a game for me, which was Ghost Recon Shadow Wars. In all honesty, there weren't that many interesting games at launch. I chose Ghost Recon Shadow Wars because I was obsessed with the awful Ghost Recon game that was on the Wii, but instead of being a shooter, Shadow Wars was actually a tactical RPG, kind of like Fire Emblem. I know some of you are wondering, did you get the games from the Ambassador program? No. I didn't find out about it until it was way too late. Fast forward to summer school. I was one of 2 kids who had a 3DS. Every time I brought it out, people would huddle around me asking if I could show the 3D. They weren't aware that the 3D only works on 3DS games and not regular DS games. It got so annoying that I started bringing my PSP to deter them. The other kid who had a 3DS showed me a bunch of cool 3DS features that I didn't even know existed, such as the 3DS video app, downloadable games on the eShop, and more. I don't think he knew about the Ambassador program since he didn't show such. When it came to collecting games for the 3DS, I wasn't really determined to collect that many. I think it was because I was too focused on expanding my game collection for other consoles. In addition, my weekly allowance was small, and if I needed to get money for games, 3DS or not, I would have to trade in my old games, or wait patiently for my allowance, or any special occasion where I could get money. I would say I would get 1 game or set of games about every 6 months or so. If there was a game I would recommend for just about any 3DS owner, or anybody willing to start their collection, it would be Fire Emblem Awakening. At my local Target, there was a copy of Fire Emblem Awakening that had been in the game cabinet for years. Initially, I wasn't interested in it, but after playing Fire Emblem Heroes on my iPhone, I decided to buy it. I was going to keep it in its shrink wrap and download the game on the eShop, but my storage was almost full because of some Yu-Gi-Oh game I impulsively downloaded. So I decided to open it up and play it. I know I destroyed its potential value, but in retrospect, that was the best thing to do since my SD card would eventually be corrupted. I'll talk about that later. Just a note, a complete in-box copy of Fire Emblem Awakening could go for almost $60 as of this video. So if you want a budget-friendly game, I would recommend Super Mario 3D Land. One of my favorite 3DS features was StreetPass. I remember completing the first set of puzzles in Puzzle Swap and feeling so accomplished, only to realize that there were more puzzles to complete. I later learned that other 3DS games relied on StreetPass to unlock more content, and the only way to unlock more of said content would be to go around with my 3DS more often than not, and that meant I would have to bring it to school. My parents only allowed me to play video games on the weekends or when school was not in session, unless I was grounded, so I had to be extra sneaky. What I would do is sneak my 3DS into school either through my backpack or my pocket and put it in rest mode to collect coins and exchange data with other users. I had a lot of close calls with getting caught, especially with how often I brought it to school. The closest I ever got to getting caught was in 9th grade when Dad took me to a doctor's appointment, and in the examination room, I remember my 3DS was still in my pocket. I also brought my backpack to do some homework, and when Dad wasn't looking, I quickly hid my 3DS in my backpack. Despite how close that was, I continued to bring my 3DS just about everywhere I went. During Christmas 2016, I decided to buy a new 3DS XL in the color Galaxy. However, it was sold out everywhere. Not only that variation, but just about every 3DS model too, and this was about 2 months after the Switch was announced. After searching some more, I eventually gave up on looking for one and decided to put that money towards a Switch. Fast forward to January, Mom asked me if I was still looking for a new 3DS XL, but I told her I decided to get a Switch instead. She did some research on her own, and she thought it was better. Shortly after the Switch presentation in January, Mom took me to GameStop to pre-order it. Now, I'm willing to admit that I love the Switch more, but I still love the 3DS. Fast forward to my birthday that year, I went to Nebraska Furniture Mart to get a video camera as a present. Not only did they have cameras, they also had new 3DS XLs. I begged mom to get me one in addition to the camera. She was willing to buy one, but it would be the only other present I would get, and I was okay with that. One day, I went to turn on my new 3DS XL to find it not booting up. I then tried again and again until finally it booted up, only to find that all of my downloads were missing. I tried to play a cartridge, but the screen went to black. Fast forward to 3 or so weeks before the eShop was scheduled to close, I gave it another shot, only to get the same results. After troubleshooting and messing around with it, that was when I realized the micro SD card was corrupted. So I bought a brand new, higher quality micro SD card, transferred all of the data that could be transferred from the old one to the new one, and everything now works. Since I got everything fixed, I decided to go to various game stores to get more 3DS games and eShop cards, and download as many games for both my 3DS and Wii U before it was too late. Although I love the 3DS, I missed out on a lot of it. If I could go back in time, I would have told myself to invest more into my 3DS collection, more games, both physical and digital, more time, and more everything. Oh, and get a high quality micro SD card. Now that's out of the way, I'm gonna download Pocket Card Jockey. The eShop for the 3DS and the Wii U is closed? No.